Hello and welcome back to The Broken Doll. Well, I'm coming to you tonight with this little animal here that everybody told me it is a moose. And it is a moose, but I was showing it to my son and he saw what I was seeing. He says, well, it does have a donkey body the way it sits. I said, well, I've never seen a moose sit before. So that's what threw me. And it looks like a donkey body, you know, like a donkey. But then this threw us with the horns, and we knew then it was a moose. And everybody on my channel would say it's a moose. So it's just a funky moose. So we're calling it a Moosekey, you know. Maybe it's part donkey. Some funky stuff was going on in the forest one day there, and we're not saying any more about it than that. So we got a Moosekey here. You know, key for donkey and moose. Moosekey. I don't know. We don't know what goes in the forest. What goes on in the forest stays in the forest. Okay, we'll just keep it that way. On our quarter, Canadian quarter, we have a moose. Well, I think we might have to change it to a Moosekey. Okay, but anyways, yeah, it is what it is. But I wanted to get it where his horns would be more not so floppy in his face and everything. It just didn't show him off good enough. He's got character, this guy. Now, what type of where would you get something like this? This is from the fair. This is from the fair, a circus, or something like a carnival or something. This is where you would get something like this. So what did I do to him? Well, I ran a wire from here and another wire that runs, okay, the wire runs to here over to his head. It can't reach over to here. So the wire went from here just over to about a little over half of his head. Then I ran another wire from this side over half of his head over to this one over here. So they're kind of intertwined a little bit. Then I put another wire in his throat area down in this area right here. Right in that area there. And then he's got another one running down his back as well. There is a wire that came with him in there, but I think it's lost its function. Like it may be more to structure the back than it is to structure holding his head up. So anyway, oh, he's cute. Look at that. Oh my goodness, my little Moosekey. There was, he's coming up for a kiss. Anyhow, so that's what I've done for him. So now I can take his antlers and move them how I want to. I'm also stuffing him right now. You'll see this stuffing in here. Well, that's going in his head in here. So what have I been using to get it stuffed in? I took one of these here. These little these are sanding sticks, but I'm using the point on it here, and I just stick it down inside because a lot of his stuffing, like what happens to a lot of us as we age, it all goes to the bottom. And we're not going to say any more about that. And he is an older donkey as well. So what's happened to a lot of his stuffing, it's went to the bottom. I tried to shake some of it back up to his head, but it wasn't going anywhere. So that's okay. We're going to just stuff him here, and then I'm going to sew up these little holes, and nobody will ever know that's what happened to him. And yeah, he's doing great now, you know. He's looking so much better than what he was when I brought him down from out of the attic. Forgot that I even owned him at all, you know. So just keep pushing this down inside, and it's making its way into its new home. And then I'm going to take him and I'm going to sew those up, like I said, and then he'll be in some videos. He can sit with some of my dolls. Now, what year would you think he's from? Oh, I think he's from the 70s, maybe. I think that's safe to say because he does have a tag here. He is, he's in French and English. Well, it isn't. No, it's in French, and there's some English here. It says new material. Well, Quebec. It was made in Quebec, Canada here, and by Mighty Star. And it says new reworked material. TV compliance with the Stuffing and Upholster Stuffed Article Act, Quebec. So they must have had a great big thing about what we're going to stuff these animals with, and it has to have its own article and an act to have this done, I guess. But anyways, it says delivered to the... What? Oh, I can't make that out. To somewhere, anyways. So anyways, yep. That's what it is by Mighty Star. I've heard of Mighty Star. I've got a few Mighty Star stuffed animals here. I love the animals that you get from the fair. They're quaint. They have a look of their own. They're kind of like a little bit abstract, they're not quite like, that's why he looks so off to me. You know, was he a donkey with horns or what was he? So my Moosekey here is coming along quite fine if I can get this down inside of his head. And there we go. Starting to get, I'll work on this later. But anyways, that's what I'm doing for him. When he's done, you'll see him in some videos coming up. And I'll just keep stuffing that later down inside of his head. I got one going on down in his neck here too as well. There's a hole down here where he is being stuffed again. I'm putting some stuffing this way. I put stuffing that way in him already. So he is getting his workout today. My daughter and I went out today. She had to go for a little blood test today. And we have to go to a medical center here in our city. And the weather was beautiful. Oh my goodness. And there's a place where I get my garbage bags from. It's called Giant Tiger. And it's quite a, what would you compare it to? If you're living in the States or maybe even United Kingdom, it's just a lower end Walmart. If that rings a bell, maybe, and I don't want to say always lower end. Some of the stuff is pretty good in there. You know, it's sometimes, it surprises you what they get in there and how nice the stuff is. I get all my washcloths from there for our bathroom and everything. And you'll get a big bundle of them for $5 or whatever. There's some nice stuff in there. But, and then there's, you get your junk, but you can get that in any store, you know, too, you know. So you just got to be a smart shopper, you know. But I get some nice stuff in there. And our cat that passed away last year, Porky, I got him a nice, for his grave area where we buried him, we've got a nice little ornament cat that can go outside. It's an outdoor ornament. And there it is. It's all inside. And now just sew that up right there underneath his chin. And that really got his neck to be a lot stiffer. His head was actually positioned downward where he couldn't even lift his eyes up. Now he's lifting his eyes right up. Oh, wonderful. We'll get this one done later. And we'll get it into his head. And, yeah, so anyways, but the only problem is right now, my backyard's, it was so warm today. It was close to 40, if not maybe it was. There was a wind, so it might have not reached it. We had a pretty strong wind. That can make it a little indifferent, but it still was warmer than what it has been. I mean, we've been down near, you know, the very low, near zero sometimes, and you know, now I don't know if we hit below zero. Maybe with wind chill we did, and but the snow in my backyard, we're like a pool. I might have to swim just to get into my shop coming up. I have to wear boots. The boots, I really chose well with my boots. I made sure they were all rubber-toed because I know what we go through in the spring, early spring here. It goes right into a slush, and that's where we're at right now. You don't want to be out in shoes. Your feet will be wet in seconds because the sidewalks are very slushy. So I just got these wonderful boots. I didn't wear them the first year, but I did wear them this year, and I've made sure of it, and I've put them to the test. Oh, they're wonderful boots. So really enjoyed them because how warm they keep my feet and dry, you know, and that's so important, you know, so. But I've had them for about 2 years, maybe now my second or maybe my third year. Can't remember. But this is the year I've really worn them the most. Last year I know I didn't wear them because we had an El Nino or El Nano or whatever they call it. And we were very nice and warm so I could get around in running shoes. But yeah, so there we go. All right, well, yeah. I'm just going to keep pushing this down inside of his head there. And if I can't get it all in, I'll just pull it, cut it off, you know, where I can't get any more in. It could be because he's getting now nice and stuffed now. He was so out of needing stuffing. Okay, I'm going to work on him later. We're going to put a lot of time just into pushing that stuffing down. All right, what's my next thing here? I want to take a review of these wonderful dolls here. Look at this wonderful doll. Now, I can still see that lip on there. I'm almost thinking, should I sand him again in this area and redo this area with some more? I think I'm going to have to with some, what do you call it? Spackling. It just... You can see that lip, yeah, and I'm just like, I thought maybe it wouldn't show that bad, but it's showing. So I think we're going to sand him, give him a sanding. But let's look at the other two here. Look at this guy. I think yesterday we were looking at him, and he was showing some of the white, you know, I think, is this the right guy, or, I can't tell anymore, because they're just turning out so nice, you know, so I think he's doing pretty good here. I'm really happy with how well he's turned out. You know, they're not perfect, like I say. There's issues with them. But, yeah, I think this one's done. This one definitely is done. So we can start putting eyes back into their heads now. So these two will get their eyes in. This one's going to have to go for a sanding. So we'll do some sanding right now. I'll show you how I do this, just so that you see. I got my sandpaper right here. I like a rag underneath because they do slip and slide around. And you don't want them, you know, you want some, I call it, what do you call it? Like shock absorbent type of thing. So we're just going to go over the area right here, get this paint off. And we're just going to do this area right in here that's bothering me. He just needs more spackling. So this ever happens to your doll, you can say, okay, this is what I saw. I saw what I came to see and what I saw. Just want to get some of that paint off so it will, the spackling will adhere. Need a whole lot of it off, just some, you know, because we know the area where we're working in. There we go. You can see my old spackling there. Now we just want to take that area, just lift it up a little bit more, let this dry, and then we'll come back to it again. All right, and what we're going to do is just lift this area up. We need some more spackling right in here. Okay. All right, so there we go. We got some spackling on that area. And if we need more, we're going to put more on again. Because you do sand, then you got to put more on. And this layer, I find with this stuff, what I like about spackling is, it doesn't do always the job the first time. It's about the third or fourth time with something like this. This is going to be about, I think, the third time I'm putting spackling on. So you layer it. It's a layering thing with spackling. When you're using Milliput, you can do it probably all in one shot. And then you're on your way after that. But I love how easy spackling is when it comes to sanding. I don't mind the waiting and getting the results I want. I can play around with it, yeah. I got many other dolls to work on in the meantime. We can let this one just dry and do its thing here. And I'm okay with that. And we'll probably take by doing more sanding on this, we'll take a little bit more paint off, of course. But we can catch up on the painting, not a problem. Okay, let's go back at it again and let this dry. And we'll come back to it again. So, what's my next thing we're going to do? Well, the next thing we're going to do here is put some eyes in. So I'm going to cut this video off here, and I'll bring you back, because we're getting up there in time. So I'm going to bring you back in a few seconds here, and we're going to get some eyes put back into the head of these dolls. All right, thank you for joining me. More to come. And we'll be seeing you in a few minutes. Bye-bye. Oh, give me a thumbs up, and give me some mail in the air. Give me a comment if you like what you see and saw here. Bye-bye.